Hey, what's going on? Hope you're having a shit one. What is in my camera bag going into next year, but what has also been in it this year? This is the Vanguard VO Select, the 48BF version, and actually is the best camera bag I've owned to date. It fits all my stuff in it. I'm now using 2 camera bodies on most photo shoots I go on. I have my dedicated photography camera and a dedicated video camera. Plus I'm working with big lenses all the time and usually have a drone with me. And then I've got laptop storage in the back here as well. Plus 2 tripod holders, which is great. I love all the pockets it has. And it has a drink bottle holder, which is actually elite. Seeing camera bags come out without a drink bottle holder, that's just wrong. Some cons, some things I don't like about it is the way it opens. It opens face side and you open it from the front. You know, most of the time when I'm out in location, I'm on the street, the dirty, gross, disgusting street, or I'm out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere and I gotta put my bag on the ground, the side of it that I have to wear, I've gotta put that part on the ground, grab what I need out of it, and then put it on my back. Another huge flaw about this bag is, I don't know why they designed it like this, it's so dumb. When you have a tripod attached to this bag, it attaches over the zip. That means when you have to get something out of this bag and you happen to have a tripod attached to it, you have to unattach the tripod, open up your bag, grab what you need out of it, close your bag, reattach your tripod, and then you can go. And that's just a process that nobody wants. Nobody asked to have to go through that level of pain. They could have easily figured out a new mounting point of this here on the other side. But apart from those 2 things, this is a pretty reasonably priced bag considering compared to some other camera bags. And I've really enjoyed using this. And on top of it, it hasn't lost any of its sturdiness over the years I've used it. So that's really good as well. Before we talk about what's inside my bag, what about your bag? I'm hosting a photography competition at the moment, as well as a prize draw giveaway. And there isn't that long left to enter. The grand prize is taking home this Vanguard bag packed with shit, including this Sony a7 Mark IV, Sigma 35mm attached to it, DJI drone, filters, SD cards, tripod attached to it. Pretty much all you'll ever need, at least to get started, someone is going to take that home. And I have 2 of them, plus a whole bunch of other prizes as well. So if you haven't checked that out, it's all on my website, or it's linked down in my description. Let's start with the cameras. This is my trusty Sony a7 R4. 61 megapixel sensor, full frame camera, absolute weapon, and I'm pretty sure it's indestructible because I've been trying to break this camera now for the past couple of years, and I kind of refuse to upgrade until this camera dies. My shutter count is obscene. I've taken it through rainstorms, snowstorms, sandstorms, recently a typhoon, and this camera, I don't know, maybe when it was built, it was dunked in some invincibility potion because it just won't die. It's a little bit of a dated camera now compared to modern Sonys that are coming out now. But before we talk about that, things I really love about this camera is, like I said, the 61 megapixel sensor is absolutely phenomenal. It means I can pretty much shoot whatever I want from whatever distance and just crop in later and get an entirely new image. You would not believe some of the crops I've managed to pull off on this camera. Plus, not only can you crop an extreme amount, nowadays with Lightroom Super Res and denoise, it just makes it even easier to do so. So the quality on this camera is unmatched. So I'm very happy about that. Some things that make me want to upgrade is no omnidirectional flip screen. It just has the tilt. Whereas a lot of Sony cameras nowadays have the omnidirectional, and that looks great. I really love one of those. The autofocus is sort of dated. You don't have any of the new AI autofocus features, which also look really yummy on some of the new cameras. I'd love car tracking. AI face detection and AI eye detection would be really cool. And honestly, a little while ago, Sony loaned me an A9 Mark III, and oh my God, I wish they didn't do that. That camera was unbelievable to use. And I didn't know that pre-capture was something that I needed that badly. If you want to check out that video, I already talked about pre-capture and what that was and that camera. I'm going to leave the link up here if you want to check that out. But oh my God, do I need pre-capture. That is just ridiculous. It's cheating. You'll never miss a shot again. That was crazy. I did not know how badly I needed that until I used that camera. However, in saying that, although I loved using the A9 Mark III, I was a little bit let down with the 33 megapixel sensor. And I know I sound like such a little spoiled brat over here holding my 61 megapixel camera, but honestly, my shooting style over the years has really depended on having such a high quality camera because of all the cropping I like to do in my photography. So that's why I'm actually looking at the Sony Alpha 1 Mark II. Omnidirectional screen, all the latest autofocus features, and it has pre-capture up to 1 second, just like the A9 Mark III. Probably don't look at the price tag, but that is the camera I would be interested in upgrading to. By the way, everything that I've talked about in this video can be found linked in my description below. Let's talk about video cameras. I'm using the Sony a7S Mark III. It's currently what I'm filming this video on, and it's what I film all my YouTube videos on, except for the POV videos, which we'll get into in a bit. But the Sony a7S III has been an absolute workhorse, and also actually been through a similar amount of shit my A7R4 has been through as well, that the flip screen is actually starting to rust. So if anyone's got some WD-40, can I please borrow it? Because sometimes the screen actually gets stuck and I've got to wriggle it around because it's just starting to rust. So that's something I didn't know would happen, but it still keeps working. So if it ain't broke. Moving on from cameras, let's talk about glass. So I just want to mention quickly that at no point do I have all of this equipment in my bag. Sorry about some of the dust on these lenses. Some of them have been through absolute warfare with me. But anyway, let's start with my favorite lens ever, which is the 105mm f1.4 from Sigma. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you'll know that I won't shut up about this lens. It's the best lens ever. It's great for any type of photography. The photos that this lens can produce is absolutely nuts. It's heavy. The filter size itself is also massive. Owning this lens is kind of like owning a sports car, actually. You're not buying it for the fuel economy or how comfy the seats are. You get it because it's a marvel of engineering and performance. That's what this lens is about. The glass in here is built to perform. That's why it's so big. That's why it's fucking awesome. And that's why you should get one. Do I have to sell it anymore? Everyone who I've talked to about getting one of these lenses has never regretted their purchase. Their only regret was they wish they bought it sooner. I also use the 35mm f1.2 from Sigma for a lot of my photography work. Also very heavy, not as heavy as the 105, but the quality of this lens is absolutely impeccable. However, a 35mm f1.4 is still just as good and half the price. So I'd probably recommend getting one of these. Sigma's 24-70 f2.8 Mark II. Now I generally shoot on prime lenses because prime lenses are usually sharper than a zoom lens. A prime lens may not be as attractive because you have to work with that 1mm length. And also it's a lot of money to spend on a fixed length. However, what I will say about prime lenses is that ever since I started to use a prime lens and have gone down that path of using one, and that's pretty much all I use now for my photography work, it definitely helps train your eye as a photographer. It makes you think harder about compositions and makes you work to that focal length. Whereas a zoom lens can make you very lazy very quickly. So that's generally why I don't use the 24-70 as often, but sometimes it works perfectly. And a lot of the time on my commercial work, I'll end up bringing this out. I did actually review this lens pretty recently and I compared it against its Mark I counterpart. And if you own the 24-70 from Sigma, the Mark I, and you've watched the video, look, there's nothing wrong with this lens. It's still a great lens. Any 24-70 is great to have, but the quality difference on these two lenses is night and day. It's almost a curse to watch that video if you have this lens. 7200 f2.8 from Sigma. This is the new one that's recently come out as well, the Sony E-mount version. This is such a great lens to have. I usually take this one out when I need more than 105mm. Otherwise, most of the time I am shooting on the 105 prime. And that was one of the biggest problems I had with the Sony Mark I 7200 f2.8 is that I found the 150 to 200mm quality, there was quite a steep decline on quality and that higher focal length, whereas the new Sigma 7200 is very sharp all the way through to 200mm. That new Sony lens, the Mark II version of this one, is considerably lighter, so it's great for traveling. However, it's a lot more expensive. And the quality difference from this Sigma one to that Sony one wasn't enough for me to justify the price. However, the quality of that lens and the autofocus of that lens, plus its lightweight body, is very cool, very nice. But yeah, nah, too expensive. This lens still does get used. I use it to clickbait you all in all my thumbnails. But if I'm ever shooting on a 7200, it's not this one in the video, it's actually this one. The 16-35 f2.8 G Master from Sony is a great vlogging lens. I usually film all my vlogs on this lens. And sometimes I take it out for photos as well, but it is mainly a lens I use for filmmaking. I haven't upgraded to the Mark II because I've had this for a very long time and it is doing a fine job. So I don't really see a need to upgrade to the second version. I used to use this lens as well for all of my sit down videos in my studio, like right now. However, I've now switched to the 20mm f1.4 from Sigma. This is a 2.8 lens, whereas the 20mm, like I said, is a 1.4. So having that big aperture when I'm filming is just very beautiful to look at. Unfortunately, doesn't make me any more beautiful, but anyway. 105 2.8 macro from Sigma is something I use a lot. I've used it a lot in this video. A lot of the footage you've seen, a lot of the macro shots you've seen in the past, and sometimes I use it for photography as well if I want to get a bit closer to my subject. And has a really nice creamy look to it as well. So I really love this lens. 85mm f1.4 from Sigma. A fantastic lens, phenomenal quality, but ever since I got the 105mm, the 85 just, I don't know, it doesn't come out to play too often. Same goes for the 50mm. This is the 50mm from Sony, the 1.4 lens. Really great lens as well. Over time, I've just preferred to use a 35mm. But this lens will come out on special occasions when I sort of know I need this sort of focal length. Same goes for the 24mm f1.4 from Sigma. I prefer to shoot on the 20mm here because I just like it a little bit wider in my studio. This is actually a really great lens as well, especially for car photography. I actually think I might use this on my next shoot, actually. Needs to get a bit of a workout. Sometimes it's actually got a cool look to it. Maybe if I'm gonna plug something in a video and just wanna have a different effect, or I don't know, just wanna have a bit of fun. This is an 8mm 2.8 fisheye from Samyang. And yeah, a lot of fun to use. I love this lens actually. Moving on, we'll talk about the drone. This is almost the best quality travel/compact drone you can get. Some people argue that the Air 3S is, or the mini drones, but look, to be fair, those are a lot smaller and a lot more compact. But for professional photography and filmmaking, this drone is absolutely amazing. There have been sightings of the new Mavic 4 Pro, and it's got this really interesting spherical front camera on it as well. But this drone has the 20 megapixel Hasselblad front camera. You've got a wide lens, a mid-range, and a long lens on it. So it's essentially like having a wide angle and a 7200 in the sky, and you're able to change your lenses at any point at the click of a button. So it is genuinely OP to have this. And this drone also just has mad aura points because it just has some street presence when it takes off. I mean, look at that. You don't want that looking at you. It's just creepy. Before we get into the POV setups, I'll quickly talk about my laptop and a little bit of a desk tour while I'm at it. This is my MacBook Pro with an M3 Max chip in it. It's incredible. It's insane, actually. It could power half my street. It does everything I want. There's absolutely zero lag on it. I can have Premiere, Photoshop, Lightroom while screen recording, playing music, and have like a billion tabs open all at the same time. And it just does not make a difference, apparently. So yeah, this thing's amazing. It can keep up with my workload and I've never had any issues with it. I also use an external SSD, which I run all my current projects on. And once I'm finished with that project, I back it up onto a Lacy hard drive and then back it up again onto my NAS, which also has cloud storage for me to access as well. This is my 40-inch curved 4K HD monitor from Dell. It's really great for editing all my YouTube videos on. And this is the chair. I don't have the chair. I'll get it, hang on. That's my chair. This is my new Razer Esker. It's actually a gaming chair, but it's super ergonomical and extremely comfortable actually. It's even got lumbar support with like a full dial and everything. It's great. Yeah, it's extremely comfortable and it's good for my back. And you can do just about every adjustment under the sun to it. You can swivel and height and depth adjust, and even the armrests are 4D adjustable, so I can literally get the perfect seating position. It's great. I just feel like a Twitch streamer. Every Twitch streamer has this cushion, I swear to God. Fuck man, I wish I was a Twitch streamer, eh? Just get my tits out and play video games all day. I mean, just come far out. Sign me the fuck up for that. I want that, bro. I want to talk about my POV setups. Now, not everyone may be interested in this, but it does come out for me for just about every photo shoot and YouTube video I go on. I have a point of view setup, which you may have seen in some of my videos. I'm always wearing a chest mount with an iPhone attached to it. Earlier this year, I was shooting all of my POV videos on an iPhone 15 Pro Max. I love using the iPhone over most dedicated action cams. Although the iPhone can lack a bit in terms of stabilization compared to other dedicated action cams like GoPros, Osmos, Insta360s, all that kind of stuff. However, I find nothing can beat the iPhone when it comes to shooting at night. And because I shoot a lot at sunset, I'm shooting a lot at night, I'm shooting a lot of rain POVs at night, the iPhone has done the best job out of all the action cams I've tested. Now, since the iPhone 16 Pro has come out, I've recently been using this to film all of my POV videos on, and I will make a video testing this camera out as well. There has definitely been a noticeable difference, especially in the ultra wide camera, which is mainly what I'm using for when I'm shooting POV videos. Every camera has been upgraded on this. Having a little bit more light getting let into the lens has been a really great step up for my POV videos. Connected to that is a GoPro chest mount, which I've then also upgraded to this newer chest mount. It's literally, that's what it's called, a newer chest mount. The GoPro one was great. And by the way, all of these things, including the POV mounts, the phone mounts, the chest mounts, again, this is all linked down in my description. Anything I've talked about in this video is all down there for you to check out. I got rid of this one and got the newer because I found this one to be a little bit more rigid. It's better build quality and has this magnetic quick release on it, which is really great. So I've preferred to use this, and it also has more tightening and strap adjustments as well, which I've preferred over the GoPro chest mount. Also, before we get into SD cards, another reason why I love shooting my POV videos on iPhone is that I can just airdrop to my laptop. It's the best. So I don't have to worry about that, but still, just about every other camera uses an SD card. So at the moment, for all of my photography stuff, I use pro grade SD cards. Filming, I'm using a Alexa Professional, and I've recently just got a Sony Tough card, which I haven't spent much time with, but the transfer speed of that SD card is absolutely lightning fast. When you're working with more professional camera equipment, you need your SD cards to be as fast as possible. So I've really enjoyed using the pro grade SD cards, the Alexa ones, and now the Sony Tough cards as well. They're all great. Never had issues from any of them. Filters, yes, they also come with me. They also somehow fit into this magical camera bag that somehow fits all this equipment. For filmmaking, I'm mainly using the K2 kit from Freewell. Mounts over the lens like so. And the filter size is absolutely huge, but this is great because it reduces vignetting. Freewell have actually sent me the M2 kit, which is great. It's a little bit smaller, it screws onto your lens, and then the lenses sit over magnetically, which is really great to use. Super handy, and I prefer that when I'm out shooting instead of using a step-up ring. I don't have step-up rings because sometimes when I'm out on a shoot, literally every second matters if you're losing light. And if you need to swap lenses quickly, I don't want to have to be fucking around with filters and all that sort of stuff. So having a magnetic base or a filter for every single lens is really handy for me. Microphones. Where are they? Mainly have 3 different microphones that I use depending on the job. This is my Rode VideoMic Pro Plus with a dead cat on it. That's why it looks a bit more furry than usual. This is really great. I use this for vlogging. It's a shotgun mic, so whatever you point it at, that's what's gonna pick up. I've had this for years. It's never failed me. It charges through the camera when you turn it on and turns on when the camera turns on as well. So very low maintenance, extremely reliable, and very high quality. Next up, when we're filming Amateurverse Pro or some of the camera roulette videos, I use the new DJI mics. These are really great as well. 32-bit float, incredible range on them, incredible quality, very easy to set up, and also just as bulletproof. I've actually never had any issues with these. We actually even zip tied some to the back of a Ferrari, one that was straight piped, and only got a little bit of peaking. And in my studio, as you can see, this is actually a pretty new addition. This is the Sennheiser MKH416. I accidentally stole this from Sennheiser. Well, I didn't steal it. I just never gave it back. But I didn't ask for it back. You didn't ask for it back, Sennheiser. I was meant to do a job where I was gonna get this microphone and sit here and talk about it on the channel, but then I was like, nah. I didn't want to do it, but they'd already sent me the mic, but they just never asked for it back. It's a really great microphone though. It's really, I mean, you're listening to it right now. It sounds amazing. I love using this thing. Sorry about that, Sennheiser, but also it's great. I did talk about it on the channel though, so. Now it's time for my favorite part of the video, the miscellaneous. All the other little random knickknacks and random shit I have in my bag. I've tried to link as much as I can of this sort of stuff in my description, but yeah, let's get into it. So, lens cleaner and a cloth. That's really handy. I should have used that on, when I showed you all of my lenses, they had so much dust on them, but anyway. Here I've got a micro SD adapter, Peak Designs camera strap, got some markers, some stickers, iPhone and Type-C cable, gauze tape and some band-aids, deck of cards, wired headphones. Sometimes AirPods die, you're gonna need wired headphones. Also really good for the plane. AirTag, great to have. Spare batteries in here, heaps of spare SD cards as well, and a spare tripod mount. And this is not actually in my bag, but this is my dual camera charger. I love having this. It tells you the percentage of what your battery's at and when it's charged, so that's really great to have. This is my tripod. This is a Manfrotto B-free tripod with a latch, rare to come by these days. Most tripods nowadays have this swivel, which is so slow. I don't give a shit what you say. No, it's not faster than a latch tripod. It's just not. Okay, I had an argument with a guy at Manfrotto about this stuff. Because I was like, oh, I'd like to get the latest B-free tripod, but do you have any with a latch? Because all I could find on your website were the stupid swivel ones. No, we don't make the latch anymore because it's not as fast. Brother, I'm fucking telling you, bro, it's not as fast. Look at this. This is a swivel. How much tightening is that, bro? How much do you want? Undo it all? Half of them come undone, half of them don't. I'm finished with it now. Oh, one, look at that. I'm using my latch tripod right now to film this video, but I'd fucking show you how quick it is compared to this, okay? And last, but certainly not least, my favorite camera of all time. It comes with me everywhere I travel. And the funniest part about this camera is I've never charged it. This is the Pentax, the E80. It's the best camera of all time. Let me take a photo of you right now. Smile. Oh, look at that. You look so cute. But yeah, I've never charged it because it takes AA batteries. How good's that? Didn't charge it? No worries. Walk down to the servo, just get some AA batteries, plug them in like so. That's it. It's great for a party, or it's great just to capture memories, and sometimes actually takes a really decent photo as well. That's it, guys. That's what's in my bag for this year. Enjoy your time off. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Keep having yourself a shit one, and I'll see you in the next one.